Welcome to FDO Speaks. We have another episode for you called Accountability. Accountability means a lot for me. It's not in everybody's lives, but it's a standard that I stand on. There's this one commercial that I remember from a few years ago where this kid, I think his name was Alex, and it was a basketball commercial where the kid touched the ball. And his teammates were telling him, "Alex, come on, man, let that go, let that go." And he told the coach, "I touched it." The coach said, "Well, you know what to do." Where's that accountability at? We need more of that in our communities that will help these young men and young women stand up for themselves and for those others who may not feel like they have a voice at this moment. I have a clip of that commercial and I'm going to place it here for you guys to watch. Accountability. That's the message for today. Here's the clip.
I touched it. I touched the ball before it went out, coach.
Come on, Alex. The ref did not call that.
You gotta be kidding me, Alex.
It's the championship game. Talk to him, coach.
I touched it. It's their ball.
Come on, do it right.
Don't foul them when they inbound. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go on, Alex. Sorry, coach.
Alex. Good call.
Sportsmanship. Pass it on.
Ref. I touched the man.
Now for me, this is what accountability means. I know a lot of people hear it and say it, and some people think it's a punishment, but I have a definition here that I'm going to read that it says, but what does it really mean? Think about this. Every choice you make today, at home, at work, on the basketball court, in your education, creates a ripple. That ripple either builds trust or breaks it. Accountability is owning those ripples. It's standing tall when things go wrong and giving credit when things go right. In sports and in life, it's showing up early, doing that extra work, running that extra sprint, and never blaming anyone else. In life, it's keeping your word even when no one's watching. And as men, it's leading with integrity because the next generation is watching us. So ask yourself, are you living accountable or just talking about it? For me, it's the foundation for my success in the sport I played and in my manhood journey. It's about me owning my own actions, my words, and my responsibilities. No excuses and take no shortcuts. I remember watching Michael Jordan on a interview. They were talking to him one time and he was saying something similar to that, saying that he took each step. He wanted to make sure he touched each one of them so that if he failed, he knew how to get back. That's accountability, man. And that's from one of the greats to ever play the game of basketball. This group that is going to be watching or commenting on it, my question is, what does accountability really mean to you? Is it just saying, my bad, when you make a bad play or my fault, I didn't mean to do that? Or is it living every day with integrity where you stand in the gap for someone who may not be able to at that moment? I know for us and our organization, FDO, we mentor kids that want to play the game of basketball. We even talk to some of the parents about, what we do for our kids. We have 6, and how we brought them up. And I mean, sometimes listening to some of the things that we had to go through as parents as we were bringing those guys up, it sounds harsh, but they're responsible, and they are most of the time accountable. I mean, they're still young ones. But the personal responsibility that each person has to this world and to one another as we walk by each other, or we attend church together, or we sit in offices together, or even doing community together, is we need to show up. And that responsibility has more to do with committing yourself to the work or the path that has been placed on your heart by God. For me, I came to Christ in 2011, 12, and I really was saved on one night at the Strong Conference at Freedom House Church. Pastor John Gray was featured at that one. Never met the man, but, nice enough, for a person that was kicking the tires of Christianity. It was a nice enough night for me, but my wife bought the tickets. I was at work, had a lot of angst going on and was wondering, how we was going to get through a lot of things. And I noticed that evening that there was, several guys that were kneeling and praying. Some of them were crying, and they were talking about their burdens and stuff. This is all accountability stuff that I have witnessed and been through and saw. Some of you guys may not have hit that level yet, or that want to be accountable. My hope is that you get there, and you want to stand up for your family, even if you don't have a wife or you're dating a young lady. You want to be accountable to her for the time that you're with her. You want to make sure that if she has children, especially a young man or a young woman, within her life, that you're respectful and you're able to bring meaning and help to that family, not disrespect and harm. We want to make sure that we're building trust and respect in our communities, in our workplaces. We want to honor each other and make sure that as we speak about someone being accountable, that it's not them being punished for something that they said they were going to do and didn't. It's making sure that when they do hold themselves accountable and they come through, that power and that feeling that they get from knowing that they can do this for themselves and someone else and even their families, that is amazing. We as men have to make sure that we have accountability partners. I know when early on when Freedom House started, and we had accountability partners, and then it moved into the Strong Men's Group. We would make sure that in our life groups, each guy would hold the other accountable, and getting to know him and making sure that if he had said that he wanted to spend time with his kids, or he wanted to make sure he had a date night, or he wanted to do something other than, work for a living and make sure someone else makes money off of his back. If it was something that was going to give the Lord praise, we wanted to make sure that we honored that and gave that guy a call and said, hey, Aaron, did you take Stephanie out? You guys made a date night, right? You're going to get out, right? Or speaking, about a guy that says he wanted to spend more time with his kids. That would normally be me saying that I wanted to get to the gym with my sons and play more basketball instead of more office hours, or making sure that I take my daughters to breakfast. Those are all things that I do regularly now. The work calendar is not so prevalent in my life as much as it was back then. We want to make sure that when guys in our organization are on the basketball court, as we're in a training session, a practice, or even a game, when a pass goes errant, or a rebound is not gotten, or a coarse word is said to another young man on the floor, that we're making sure that, hey, let's not do that. We're here's a team. We came to win as a team, and the only way we're going to do that is if we hold each other accountable on this floor right now, today, to get this thing done. We want to make sure that any effort that is put out within our practices or our training sessions, that if a pass goes errant, that we, the coaches, hold that person accountable. We allow some light banter between, the players, but not so much, whereas it's going to interrupt what we're doing as an organization for the guys. We also want to make sure that their attitude is leaning in the area where we're trying to push them to, and allow them the honorability as young men to understand what's happening and where their feelings, although they may seem true at the moment, could be misplaced at that current time, and holding them accountable to that. We want to make sure that teamwork is available, and they know that when they miss that pass, that's not teamwork. That's individualism. They want to make sure that they're working as a team, that when the cut comes down and that pick is coming, when that guy drops, the ball is supposed to be there. Just because you're wide open, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to take a shot. You're supposed to share and work as a team to hopefully at the end win the game. For us as coaches within the organization, we have had myself, Arthur Poston, Justin Baines. We've had Jermaine Blair, and we've had Jay Gee, and we've had a number of other guys within the group that have helped us to be who we are today. But it's put my flag in the ground, or drawing a line in the sand that says that we're going to stand for more than just a basketball organization. We're going to be helping our young men and young ladies become vital members of this community, helping them to stand up and honor themselves, their parents, and to create a meeting for them in Christ, should that ever present itself. For us as men, though, we want to make sure that we're standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. We want to make sure that we're being accountable to our family, our community, and ourselves. I want to know that even though I'm not in the room, that anything that's being said about me, I know should be something good, because I've left and done a lot of good around the people that are speaking about me. This week, and this is not the close, but this week, I want you to choose one area where you'll raise your accountability game. Share it with someone who will hold you to it. Now, I have another call to action toward the end, but, this is the part of the midway point where I want you to be thinking about where you can raise your accountability game. I know for a long time when I was dealing with my older daughters and trying to find time to get to breakfasts or be able to get my grandson and do all of those things, I was trying to deal with a lot of things that I had placed on my plate for work, because I had let work take over a lot of things, trying to stay in a contract, trying to learn that new development language, or trying to get that server built or that computer built or that website built. All of those things were taking precedence over what is mainly important, which is our family, our community, and making sure that we lift our heads to God every morning and pray to Him every night before we lay our heads on that pillow. But here's a call to action that I would like you to think about. Accountability doesn't start in a season, next year, or when life slows down. It starts right now, today. I want you to identify one area in your life where you know you can be better, whether it be helping the wife in the kitchen, taking the kids to basketball practice, football practice, or whatever practice, taking your daughters to dance lessons, going to their recitals, piano recitals, karate, dojo lessons, what have you, whatever it is where you can show up and be accountable for your family. Make sure that if you make a promise to God that you're going to open your Bible and read, do it. Hold yourself accountable for that. Make sure it's a spot in your life where you know you can be better and be better. Maybe it's your effort, maybe it's your attitude, maybe it's how you show up. But make sure your team, should be your family or your community, are able to see the responsibilities that you have placed upon yourself, and they're starting to see them through. Now write those things down, say them out loud, and then choose one person who you trust and give them permission to hold you accountable. This isn't for you to be judged by them, but they should be pushing you. Because greatness doesn't grow in comfort or silence. It grows in those uncomfortable spots where it's hard to speak, where it's hard to stand. On the court, accountability wins games. In life, it builds character. And as men, accountability is how we lead, how we earn respect, how we create a legacy that's worth following. Don't just talk about standing up, stand firm. Own your choices that you've made and live like someone else is learning from you, because they are. They really are. I can speak to that from experience, and there are several guys that I know that would give the same testament. For all those guys that come to the practices and watch how we move and talk to the kids and work with the kids and show them a better way to be on the court and off. That's the first glimpse that you get to be able to show the next steps of your accountability. As I close this episode of FDO Speaks on accountability, I want you to remember that it's not just a moment. It's a mindset. It's how you show up when the lights are on and no one's watching. It's how we grow as athletes and men and women and young women. It's how we succeed in life and how we carry ourselves and carry that standard. Make sure that after this episode ends, hold yourself to that accountability and even find that partner to hold you accountable and push you. Until next time, be accountable.